Okay, welcome everyone. Please rise for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Yep, thank you for coming. Merry Christmas Eve.
I call this Grinchmas.
And thanks for coming out in the weather, but at least it'll give us a white Christmas. And for those who are still celebrating Hanukkah, happy Hanukkah to those as well. My house, we do both. So, all right, starting tonight, we have the payroll register, and that register reads as follows. We have payroll in the amount of $37,567, payroll taxes of $10,206, accounts payable in the amount of $119,531, a payment to the retirement system of $45,141. We don't have a treasurer's report tonight because I understand that treasurer is on vacation. So, are there any questions with regard to the register? If not, I'll take a motion to accept.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And tonight we also have the consent agenda, which includes public minutes of December 16th, non-public minutes of December 2nd, the recreation manifest, and building permits. Has everyone had a chance to review the minutes? Any changes?
Make a motion.
Okay.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moving on to our agenda. We first have the swearing in of a new officer. Very pleased to present Brandon Cooper McConnell. If I'm pronouncing that, okay, excellent. And I understand that he comes to us as a new certified officer from Southampton.
He's not new.
What's that?
He's not new. He's just new to us.
New to us. Yes, new to us. Not new. He's certified and ready to rock and roll. So, we have,
Motion to hire.
yeah, a motion to hire, and do we have our person to
Second.
swear him in? Yeah. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Me. I try to keep it easy.
AB.
AB.
Pass around the form for appointment. We wait for, I think, Heather.
Heather.
Yep, Heather.
Yes.
He gets sworn at by
Oh.
Heather.
You want to wait a moment, Chief, or do you want to talk about the, well, next was the
Encumber funds.
Taser bid that you had received and sent around. I know I had some questions because it was over the over the $10,000 mark, because the bid was,
I have not seen it.
you have not seen it.
And the first person to use our new podium.
Yeah.
Great.
Outfit it.
Chet Merch.
Yeah. I think the bid, Chief, was in or around 40.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, it's 45,000.
Yeah. So the concern was that it was above the amount for requiring a sealed bid, but I think.
But in the purchase policy, it does allow for, this company actually is the only company that makes tasers. The other thing, so they basically are the only one that you can purchase from.
They have a monopoly.
They do. And the second part of that also is the fact that our body cameras that the officers are wearing now, these Taser 7s actually activate. If your body camera is not on and you activate your taser, it automatically turns the body camera on and records it and actually places what time your taser went off. So I can write a letter, and that's what the policy requires for that amount of money, without getting the
Specifically-
bids.
Yeah,
but-
specifically what the policy says is that we may approve without bid under the following conditions. One of those conditions being that it is only one known source of purchase and there is no comparable substitute product or service. Written documentation supporting the sole source must be provided.
Yes.
So what would you provide for documentation on that, Chief?
Well, the fact that this is the only company that actually sells these tasers, and also provide you with the documentation that indicates that they do turn on when the body camera is activated. You know, the other part is that I wrote when I asked to encumber these funds is our current tasers are actually, yes, they're at end of life. So they're not going to be supported, and we're not going to be able to buy parts for them, you know, at all. So, you know, I thought with the amount of money that I have left over in this year's budget, it was probably a good time to encumber these funds and make this purchase.
And would you have a contract by year end? Because you would need to have a contract by year end to.
Julie has that contract. That's what that invoice is, the agreement, and,
How many
Oh.
tasers?
so originally we were doing 13 with the part-timers. We dropped it down to 9. And then when Sergeant actually talked to the company, they dropped it another 3,000. So we'll be getting, I'm asking for 10, 9 full-timers, and then 1 extra in case something has a service problem or something that we can give them another one, so.
And do they have a warranty on them or not? What's the warranty? And what's the life expectancy of these things?
Oh,
What do you have on the other ones?
now, end of life.
Well, how old are they?
They're the X2s.
We have 2 more, they're gonna support them for 2 more years, it looked like.
Yeah, yep.
So the cost on this, so this is the actual contract that I'm looking. at.
Yes.
Okay, 45,000?
Yes,
Okay, and that's for 9?
for 9, plus the support system, plus, or
You said
10, I'm sorry, 10, plus the support, plus the cartridges. All in is 45,000.
How much money do we have left?
I think it was 200, some odd thousand?
I still have 200,000 left in the budget.
Motion?
Second.
Discussion?
I would just add to the motion to waive the purchase policy.
Where
agree
is
with
that
that.
policy, just out of curiosity?
It's in the bid policy.
Yeah, where does that live? Is there a place where policies live that people can look at them? Okay. Is it a binder? Okay. So it's not like a
Digitized.
document that people can look at
But you can look at it.
digitally? Like we couldn't post all these for someone to be able to look at them? No.
Yeah, Julie, you sent me that
Scanned
PDF
and-
today, so.
You can
No,
scan it?
So the answer is it's in a binder.
Yeah.
Which is why I've never seen it before.
But there is a bid policy. This does fall under the exception or exclusion to the bid policy. This motion also probably should be conditioned upon the documentation in terms of it being the sole source, because that's required under the policy as well.
I think
I will support the documentation that is the sole source.
Okay, we just need something written.
There's nothing gonna be, unless it's a letter from the
But can't we
chief.
waive,
Yes, yeah.
since it's board policy, can't we waive that anyway?
Yes.
It says in the policy, written documentation supporting the sole source must be provided. I mean, I'm perfectly fine, and I think the chief was offering just to put together a letter that we can just put in the file that, you know, that states that.
If you want, I will.
It's our policy. I mean,
Can I
we
make-
can waive anything.
Yeah, I would make a motion that we waive this policy entirely and accept the bid to encumber the funds.
I mean, I'm okay with that too, but I think it's probably better protocol just to have a letter in the file.
Yeah, it's not a big deal to write a letter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Because I think what Andy's saying is that we could also just repeal this policy right now if we wanted to.
Well, I know, but why would we want to repeal the policy?
No.
It's a reason.
We're just doing an exception to it, so I like we already have a motion. I agree with the
moving along.
as edited, and we move it along.
Okay, so a motion to,
Accept the bid,
yep.
and with the understanding that we're accepting the policy, he's gonna send an email or a letter over real quick telling us that
Yeah,
the
just go in
sole
the file.
source, and we're good. And just put it in the file, and we're good to go.
Yep.
And then Jim seconded it, right?
Mm-hmm, I did.
Okay, great. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, chief.
Is Heather ready to swear at him yet? No? Oh, and Jim, just to make you happy.
What?
Mike,
Awesome.
he was
Thank you.
giving me crap about that last night. How many do you have?
All right, come on up.
Aren't you gonna stand next to him? Come on.
You're a victim of circumstance too, you said I do.
Welcome. Sam?
He's just, you were the broker. He was the broker of record. Make sure he takes the old chairs out of the room for us. Southampton wants them. We don't want the chairs.
Hey, Wayne. You're up. Yeah. Gonna talk about the highway shed. See where we're at.
You can do either. You can sit, you can stand.
You've earned it, Wayne. You can.
Wayne, you can sit.
You can
next to me,
sit.
I don't bite. Push the center button.
No?
Just push the big.
We need a big sign.
There we go.
Push the red, you're live.
Okay, you guys wanted to see me about the highway shed, doing some insulation and that stuff? Well, we've been down, found out about it and I came in to see the building inspector. So we're trying to put things together right now. Like, we got a list of stuff of what, he came down and looked at it to let us know what we have, because we wasn't sure what has to be done in there. If it needs to be fireproof, any of that stuff. The back wall is already fireproof. It goes to the office. But the other side, all the rest of the sides is, everything's open. So he didn't think that we'd have to fireproof that, just insulate it all up. The other thing that we'd have to do before we start doing the insulation is change the lights. You want better lights, and right now they just got a bunch of lights going down the middle of there, just regular lights. But if we put LEDs in there, like we have in the other shed, but we'd have to get an electrician to come in and do that before we even started, because they gotta run the wires up top. And then, to put the strapping on and get the insulation, we buy the insulation, and however you wanna do it. He came, the insulation is, I guess I didn't write it down. The gable ends are 5/8 sheet rocks, and those he said those have to be fireproof. The ceilings are 5/38, and the walls are 21. I think that's the insulation stuff. And but as soon as we get everything together, we'll know what we did, and hope we try to find some prices to get the right somebody to give us a buy on some of this stuff that we can get a hold of them,
Okay, so that's a work in progress, it sounds like, Wayne? Like
What's
you're-
that?
That's a work in
Yeah,
progress?
Jeff is really willing to get out there and get into this, and he's done it before. So we should be fine. We'll just piecemeal it with our work in there. Once we get everything there, we can get the stuff at the shed, and then just go out there and just hammer away at it.
All right, great. And you'll get back to us? when
Oh,
you
yeah,
get some-
we'll keep you updated
Yeah.
about what's going on,
Okay,
and I'm gonna try to work.
And right now, Wayne, you're parking vehicles inside there and
Yeah, we got
dry
trucks in there.
storage, yeah.
Right now, we have trucks in there, and the trucks we have in there, we can't plug in. There's no plugs on the trucks,
Right.
but they're working okay.
And that's the other thing that you need to do, as well as all the wiring.
The plugs are all in.
Okay,
Whoever did it before, they already got some plugs in there that we can plug stuff in already. So that's already set up where the fire alarm system is and everything. All that stuff is already plugged in, but we're doing okay. The trucks are starting every day, and the ones we got in there, and hopefully we'll get along.
And what
Get it
about
done.
the furnace? That was the other thing that you had mentioned, right, was the furnace?
yeah, we were gonna also look at an oil burning furnace, right? And
Yeah, the oil fire, we can, once we get going and get that stuff out of the way, then we can look.
that'd be
at
the
it.
last piece of the puzzle.
Yeah.
Yep.
We know a lot of guys around here that burn
Oh,
the
yeah.
service guys that,
because we want to use oil boiler, right?
Yes.
yeah,
Waste
Yeah.
oil, yeah.
Waste oil.
Waste oil.
waste oil, yeah.
Might as well use that.
All we do is just get at it, that's all.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, Wayne.
Thank you, Wayne.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Have a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Yep, appreciate it. Yeah, good to
Thank
see
you.
Okay, yeah. Yeah,
Can we just go back to that for a second?
two.
To the highway shed?
Oh, yeah.
How much money is in the highway budget?
Leftover, you mean?
Yeah. Because it would almost make sense if we can to purchase the insulation now.
Yeah,
Purchase all the materials that we can.
Right.
now.
I would agree with that.
Get Wayne back.
Well,
He doesn't
we-
know
we
the
don't need-
price. You just need to kind of give
Yeah, he doesn't have any numbers yet.
I think he had a quote for like, what,
It was
12 grand? How much was it to insulate it?
Well, the quote
No,
that he got,
that was to do it.
Oh, that was to do
he
it.
got a quote to do it and it was like 88,000.
So
yeah.
someone's smoking crack on
Yeah.
that one, but okay.
As of a couple weeks ago, there was 78.5 left in his budget.
But if I'm not mistaken, didn't you want to save some of that for salt just in case?
Yeah, I think we were gonna encumber some of that for salt.
Yeah.
We don't have to encumber it from his budget directly, though.
No, we don't. Nor do we have to take the insulation. I think it'd be worthwhile if we can purchase the insulation before the end of the year. at least.
Strapping,
Yeah,
like whatever we know we're gonna use.
Want to speak with Wayne about that?
I would do it
I would,
tomorrow.
I would actually
I would-
look at Chuck and have him,
I would do it tomorrow,
yeah.
just
I would-
because he's going back out to
He,
salt the
he,
roads.
yeah, he's salting and plowing.
But you can talk to
Yeah.
Chuck and just say, do you have an idea? I mean, we should know how much square footage it is, and it's easy enough to go.
It's in order.
Yeah, just say, I have this much square footage of a building.
Right.
Put, I want 10%
Yeah.
added to the amount of, for waste and everything else. And how much would it cost for me to get this much insulation and have it dropped off?
I thought that's what it's gonna
That's-
do.
Yeah, I thought so too. but-
Okay,
And then, the electrician, I don't know.
There's no way you're gonna get
You're
a
not gonna get that.
contract in a week.
right.
Yeah.
All right.
To even
we-
get someone to call you back in a week.
Maybe we can order the lights though.
That's a good point, yeah.
You can say, all right, well, what type of lights are you looking at? Look them up in a catalog.
It sounds like they already did the other shed with the new lights, so he might even know exactly what they are.
Yeah, how much, can you give me a price on one of those lights and let's order 10 of them?
I think public service did that as part of one of the energy retrofits.
I was gonna ask that, if that's still
Yeah.
going on.
No, I don't think it is going on. anymore.
Okay.
We could still look up what kind of lights they are.
Yeah.
though,
Yeah.
To Bob's point, and just order
Yeah.
a handful of them.
Yeah, just say, I want 10 of them, and at least now I've encumbered, I have 10 there.
Mhm.
Still have to have an electrician install them, but at least I have them, just like the installation.
Yeah, that's a good point.
All right, so you'll coordinate that
Yep.
with Wayne before the end of the year?
Yep.
Okay. We have a delegation of deposit authority that we need to approve and sign off on. The treasurer is seeking that the deposit function be delegated to the tax collector or her respective deputy for deposits made on a weekly basis or daily whenever receipts total $1,500 or more. And I'm assuming this is for the incoming funds.
He will still be authorized as a depositor, but it just allows, if he's not here for any reason, it gives them the ability to make the deposits.
Okay, which, given the timing,
Yes,
is important.
right.
So,
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Nope, there you go. AB.
all in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, I'll pass this around for signature.
Bless you.
Next on the agenda, this is part of updating various policies for, that are in that handbook that you were referring to, or the spiral book. So this policy deals with children in the workplace. Do you have that to pass around?
I have a couple of them, or a few. Does anybody else want?
I saw it in the packet.
As I read the changes from the original policy
The
and,
original's behind that.
oh, the original's behind, but the two, this is, it gives more definition, it makes it applicable not only to employees, but to appointed officials, board and committee members, and also, and I think importantly, in those situations where childcare is an issue in terms of meeting attendance, the policy specifically provides that that elected, appointed officials and committee members shall favor remote participation for members unable to appear in person due to dependent care issues. So shall favor remote. So I'll open it up to any discussion.
I can go first. Was this run by council?
No, this was not. I mean, I reviewed it, felt it was a reasonable policy. It's really just an expansion on the policy that we previously had with, again, some additional definition and those, at least in my opinion, those two principal changes.
So the previous policy, it looks like, was part of the employee handbook for employees?
And it was in that ordinance book
Okay.
as well.
The third and fourth paragraph seem to be in misalignment with each other, because the third paragraph says that we're not allowed to bring children to meetings. And then the fourth paragraph says children who are brought in shall not be left unattended. So which is it?
I think if you bring them, they still have to be supervised.
There was a policy, there was a provision of the policy to bring children in to visit and stop by. So does that refer to that?
So
Where are you looking at specifically?
So specifically, employees, elected appointed officials, and committee members are not permitted to bring children to the workplace. And then the next paragraph says, during the course of any board or committee meeting, children who are brought into a meeting room shall not be left unattended. So,
Yeah, I think one is as a result of illness, school closures, or daycare difficulties. And then I think the next paragraph is really more dealing with the meeting situation, because it's talking specifically about any meeting and says that children who are brought into a meeting room shall not be left unattended and must be directly supervised in order to avoid any disruption or disturbance. So I think they're talking about two different things.
I am not sure if you can ban children from town offices, from meetings, any more than you could ban any other resident from attending a meeting.
I don't think it's banning it. I think it's just saying they
They
can't.
need to be supervised.
Right.
Well, that's what I was confused about, because it says are not permitted to bring children. I guess the,
No, yeah, I think you're looking again at the preceding paragraph, as a result of illness, school closures, or daycare difficulties, which I think is from the old
right,
policy.
that makes sense for employees. It doesn't make sense for the elected appointed officials and committee members, is what I'm saying. I understand that it looks like whoever made these edits just added that phrasing of elected appointed officials and committee members to everywhere that said employees before. And I'm just pointing out that that part doesn't make sense as a result of illness, school closures, or daycare difficulties. Because our meetings are at night. There are no school closures at night.
Well, we do have some board meetings sometimes that occur during the day, so I'm just looking at it.
I mean, we could,
Do you want a copy?
If you have it, that's great.
I suppose that particular paragraph that you're referring to, which, you know,
Yeah, it's caveated by during the course of a board or committee meeting.
but I mean. I
No,
think
it's the paragraph
it's the
above that.
preceding paragraph. I mean, we could just, delete the officials and committee members for that particular sentence.
Mhm.
I mean, to the extent that that sentence doesn't necessarily apply to officials, appointed officials and committee members. I mean, you still have the following sentence, which I think explains what the intent is. The following paragraph.
I agree with striking elected or appointed officials and committee members in the third paragraph.
Yeah, first sentence.
Yes.
Just looking at it for a second.
If everyone wants to take a read on that.
Sure.
So you want to strike this right here?
But it's still expanded by the next paragraph, which says, during the course of any board or committee meeting, children who are brought into a meeting room shall not be left unattended and must be directly supervised by their parent host in order to avoid any disruption or disturbance.
Was there an issue with that that caused us to review this?
I think that, again, we're just reviewing all, policies. Well, I would accept an amendment to delete appointed officials and committee members from that
Second.
first sentence of the third paragraph.
Either that or just add in that sentence that says for an extended period of time.
Again, I'm not sure if you can ban a resident, which a child is a resident, from attending a meeting.
Well, again, now you're back in the fourth paragraph. We're not banning, we're talking about
Well, that's
appropriate
just
supervision.
to Jim's point about for an extended period of time.
What's the difference?
I would be fine with making a
Because of-
motion to accept this with those edifications in the third paragraph of
You're
deleting that.
contradicting yourself in these two paragraphs.
So I would make the motion to strike on the third paragraph, elected, appointed officials and committee members are not permitted to bring, and just have employees are not permitted to bring. And then I'm fine with the rest of,
All right,
I'll
so-
second that.
All right, so there's an amendment to what has been proposed. All in favor of that amendment?
Aye.
Aye.
opposed?
Are you asking if I'm in favor of the amendment or if I'm in favor of the amended policy?
The amendment.
Of the
Aye.
amendment.
So now we have an amended proposed policy on the board. Is there any further discussion with regard to it?
I make a motion as amended.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Oh, I'm a nay.
Okay.
I think it's very hard to believe that out of all of the policies in that book, that this one was picked randomly. I'm not gonna say.
Okay. All right, next up on the agenda is the following budgets. We have insurance, and then I realize they're separately itemized, but we can talk together about recycling, rubbish, and waste disposal. So why don't we first go through the insurance?
Is this the same as what we got in the email?
Yes.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Do you want to go through how you arrived at these numbers? Julie?
Sure, I just took the actual number of employees who have enrolled in healthcare plans, and then added 4 additional family plans, because we have a number of vacancies we're trying to fill, and based it on the town's contribution to those plans.
You still came in at a negative 10.65 drop.
Correct.
which in hard numbers, it looks like it's approximately $62,000
Yep.
decrease.
Right,
So you're looking for 520,654?
correct.
I make a motion for the 520,654.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yeah, I was just curious about this year's actual being so low at this point in the year.
It won't run actual, didn't look at an actual, I can look at this one. Plus there's, I know at least December's left to pay. And we've had a number of vacancies too in different positions.
It just seems really low.
But it's not an actual.
It is an actual, this year actual as of today.
Julie said it wasn't actual.
Okay.
No, in this budgeting portion of BMSI, it for some reason does not carry the accurate.
That is wild.
Just like on that one from last week.
That is wild.
But if you print out
Okay,
expenditures, it
so
shows-
the actual is higher than the 316?
correct.
What
What's
is the actual?
number that you have?
407.
And you still have to pay for December. Okay.
And this was as of December 8th, so yeah, I don't, yes.
Cool.
So with this new budget will include 4 additional families. Any additional singles or just
I just figured to cover ourselves, I would take the
the
Highest
higher
one.
for the families? So you could have like a single that might.
correct,
Yeah, okay.
But you don't know what you get until
right.
Right.
until they're on board,
Okay.
and you can't ask.
So we have a motion and a second. Any further? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. This is just is this a recycling?
Recycling, rubbish, and landfill, it's all 3 of them are on there. Oh, did you already have one, Letty? If not-
Yeah, I do. I just have my laptop. So.
Thank you.
For this, I just took I looked at the
I got you.
contract that we have, and used, this was as of it gave the 2025 costs, and then there was a minimum increase of 5% annually.
Right, so
So
it's an escalator in the trash contract of 5% for each year. And I think these numbers, as I'm understanding it, are the numbers based on manual
Yes,
collection, but if it went to automated, those numbers
would decrease.
decrease by approximately 48, 49,000.
Correct. I budgeted for the higher amount in case it didn't get passed. In case the warrant article, I know there was supposed to be a warrant article on at town meeting, and if it doesn't get approved, we would have this to fall back on.
We'd have some funding. So, and do we have to do these separately, or do we do them all together? Because there's 3,
Separately.
right? So all 3 have to be done separately?
So, question. Yep. Do you want to do recycling before I ask a trash question, or?
I have a recycling question. So.
Doesn't matter. Go whichever.
I'm wondering if it's the same thing as the last one. Is the actual for recycling not really the actual?
Oh, probably, yeah. And we just got a huge bill. I know that she's.
In processing right now?
Right.
Could you?
As of 12/8, what is it? Let's see.
94,227.
Yeah, it's, as of December 8th, 119,607, basically.
Of the 18th, you said?
Yeah,
Eight-
of the
eighth.
8th.
December 8th.
Okay. Okay, that was closer to what I would expect it to be.
You have a question, Andy?
Yes.
Yeah.
Under trash, my opinion is we should budget for automated 6 and 6, and the warrant article include the extra money for
Manual.
manual. So people knows how much money it's gonna cost them to continue manual pickup.
What's the cost for automated? Is this the cost for automated or is this the cost?
That's cost for manual.
Full
So
manual.
it's-
My only concern was that if it didn't pass, we wouldn't have money in the budget to continue with,
Oh, if it didn't pass to go to automated
right.
and they want manual.
Well, we would have to plan on going to automated.
So it's $16,866 difference. I think the thing that's throwing us off is the first 3 months having to be having to be manual either way.
Would be the first 6 months.
Sure, I think, so like, if people want it to stay manual, 12 months is gonna cost more than what it's budgeted for next year.
I think that's why Julie was
So-
making the extra,
My idea was that cost would be in the warrant article.
would be, yeah, it's not a bad idea.
So you would ask for $16,866.
A month.
No, that's
No, not a
total.
month.
Total year.
Not a
Total.
month.
It's not that much.
No,
So you would basically say,
it's
Warren,
about 4,000.
we're gonna budget for automated, but then you're gonna add just for that line item, right? 16,866 is the warrant article
Yes.
for manual. That makes sense.
I personally would rather budget for the whole year for manual so people understand that cost being, hey. Uh-huh. And then just have a warrant article that lays it out for a 12-month period. This is how much it's gonna cost for a 12-month period to stay automated, and this is what it's gonna cost for a 12-month period to go with manual, because I think the 6 and 6 is gonna be confusing for people. And really, my understanding, based on what the discussion at this board was that the goal of having the warrant article is to understand what the people want. It sounds like people want manual. We can plan for that, we can budget for it, and if they don't want it, they can tell us that and we can act accordingly. I'm also concerned with the tax cap that if we wait and have to budget for the full year manual next year, that's another thing that we're gonna have to come up with on top of.
Even if the warrant were to
Pass.
issue for additional monies, as Andy was suggesting, that would be part of
That part of the
Yeah.
total appropriations.
yeah.
I guess for $16,000, it doesn't seem worth making a separate warrant article.
It's a little more. I think it's like 24,000.
The problem is if you don't put money to it, it's a non-binding warrant article and it really doesn't make a difference.
I mean, none of it's binding, no matter what, as a warrant article.
Well, it would have to be
We're not
because
required to
correct,
do
but-
anything.
the money wouldn't be there to continue manual pickup if you didn't spend it out of the warrant article.
Yeah, if it's in the operating budget, we can spend it.
That's why I want to take it out.
Yeah.
Why do you want to
So-
take it out? Sorry, maybe I'm just not understanding.
Because,
People know what it's gonna cost them to make a decision. If you want to switch to automated, you're gonna save this amount of money.
right, so
They can
you're
look at the
saying,
number in the warrant article and say, this is what half a year is gonna cost me extra to have them continue to operate business as usual.
I think that makes sense.
So as far as so I took the number that we have for collection and recycling, and I, for collection at manual and collection at automated, and then I did half the year at both. And the difference between the whole year at manual, which is $397,950, and half the year at manual and half the year at automatic is only $16,866.
On just recycling or both?
Do you have the current numbers? Because I don't have those numbers.
They're
Yeah,
in
it's-
they're
it's-
in the
it's-
contract,
it's-
so
Yeah,
the
the
manual is 390,
379 plus 5% escalator.
plus 5%. The difference for automated is 346,875 plus
5%.
5%.
346.8 what?
346,875 plus 5%. But then you have to do the same for the
Recycling.
Right.
recycling.
I think
And what's the recycling? What's the price on that?
Well, it's
150.
150, 750 by 5, add 5%, and then manual is 135, 350 by 5%, so the difference.
So that would mean manual would be less.
no, manual is
No.
more.
Manual is 157.
Oh, that's manual, okay. Then this is
Times
automated.
5%, and then 135, 350 times
135, 350, plus 5%. So we're looking at 142, 117.50 for recycling.
I had them
And,
all broken out, which is why.
and for this, it's gonna be 346,875 plus 5%.
I had just assumed it was 48,000 or 49,000. Wrong on that, Julie, for the total, when you add both together as the differential for the year?
Automated. All right, so I have the automated amounts. I'm kind of thinking, I agree with what Andy's saying. And then I think then we do the calculation for how much it's gonna cost on the warrant article to go to manual. And that
Stay
way,
with manual.
it's
No,
to stay with manual, but
right.
then what's the cost to do that? Because right now, we're gonna say, we're gonna price it out as if we're going to automated, because that's the more cost-effective process. So with
6 months of each.
the 6 months of each, so you have, so the budget for recycling would be 142, 117. I'd say 118 because it's 0.50, so just make it easy. So I would be fine with making a motion for the 142, 118 automated under
Are you
recycling.
confident in those numbers?
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
took your numbers that you
Yeah.
gave me and put 5% on it.
Okay.
So you gave me 135, 350 plus 5%.
Yeah.
Comes to 142, 118 is what I would put in there.
Okay.
I like
And
my
you would do-
numbers.
And then you would do a warrant article for the 16,170?
Yeah, whatever that difference is, yeah. And then,
I would
so,
do the total, I wouldn't separate out recycling and trash.
okay.
Well, we
For
could,
the warrant article.
we
Yeah.
could separate
warrant
out the
article,
numbers,
right,
but still have the
right,
total.
Right.
And then the next number, if you just, I don't know if you want to do this motion first for recycling, and then come back to the next one. The next number is going to be for automated, instead of the 397,950, it's going to be 364,218. And I'd actually make it 219 because it's actually 218.75.
So that is the full year automated, which we can't do.
So what's then what?
6 and 6.
6 and 6, so we have to divide
By 12
by 12.
times 6.
So I think,
Then I have to do this number, okay.
Yeah,
Let
so
me
I
do the math on
I
that then.
know it's a little complicated.
so I think it's 381,084 for just trash, half and half.
Was there any public comment on this?
Yes, Jim would like.
I'll
to
do the
agree
math
with-
while you guys do
Oh,
this,
yeah.
the rest.
Jim would like to agree with
I'll-
Andy
Hero.
loudly.
He's the one who wanted to.
Okay.
All right, so we're gonna take the 158,288, divide by,
Yeah, why don't you go, and then, I'm sorry, Mr. Hero?
Hero, yeah.
Yeah.
Jim Azure, Budget Committee. Andy's exactly right. I mean, this was discussed way back. And I think the proper approach that you came up with was you budget for 6 months manual, 6 months automated. Then we go to them and ask it with a warrant that says, if you want to keep manual, this is the cost. And I believe it's around $24,000 for both recycle and trash. It was like $4,000 a month. Because again, I think the goal, whatever you agree, it would be better for the budget if we went to automated. So, and if they vote for the warrant, that puts gives us the money to keep it manual for the whole year. If they vote no to the warrant, we then have 3 months, which is plenty of time to convert to automated. He told us it would only take like 6 weeks or something like this. So we went through this discussion, and I don't see the value in over appropriating this line. Give the people the right to vote, but you're going to budget it correctly. Budget it based on the fact that hopefully they vote no, and we'll have time and we'll go to automated and we're at the lower rate. If not, well, we have the money from the warrant to pay for it.
So-
And I wouldn't worry about next year's tax cap. Again, because now you start double guessing yourself. And I think the goal here is to give the voters the option to keep manual if we think that's what they want, versus what I think the government was kind of proposed was to go to automated. Thank you.
All right, so I have the number for
I'd just like to
recycling.
point out that even if they approve the warrant article for manual, the select board is not required to do that.
Thank you for reminding me of that, because I always forget that you don't have to do the will of the voters. You really don't. But again, I would think that you would, if the voters said to go to manual, we would go to manual. Thank you.
I mean,
We get it.
we budgeted for
Mr. Hero.
6 months manual and 6 months automated for this year because that's what we were gonna do and that's what the voters approved, and then we just didn't do it. So the select board can make the decision.
My name is Mike Euro. I live at 20 Crawley Falls Road in Brentwood. I
I'm
call
sorry,
it
I'm-
South Brentwood.
I mispronounced your name.
That's all right. Everybody does that.
Yeah,
I-
well, no, I realize now that you said it, it's a
I
silent
call it
H.
South Brentwood, and I'm here to talk trash.
Mm.
I have some figures.
Oh, thank you.
This may be a little late, apparently, the way you're talking, but what I have is, and what I've come together here, I have relatives that live in the town of Raymond, 3 different relatives. And the Raymond, in its infinite wisdom, went to private trash a couple of years ago by vote at the town meeting. So everything they do is private, but they do it through Casella. And so they come up with figures that each household has to pay its own. And what they pay is, if you can see here, a combination of trash and cycling, up to 65 gallons of trash, is $546.83 per household. Now, I don't know what Casella charges the town of Brentwood, but
Per household,
that's for pickup at a household,
for
at a
the
house.
year or for the month?
A year, yeah, I'm sorry, this is year, yep.
Okay.
So then, if you want to do trash only, they give you an option, and that's what I'm kind of here to talk about, I guess. If you pick trash only, apparently they have different size, they call it containers, although they do not require any containers. Everything's up there is by bag, and that's for $92.96. So it's cheaper for just trash without recycling, but they add the addition recycling. So what I'm looking at is, I guess is what I'm suggesting possibly the town should look at, is stop paying Casella for recycling. Save that money and then let each household decide if they want to pay recycling. That's $100 a household, but that's for the year. And that's pickup every single week. They don't do the every other week like we do.
But
And
this
that
is
may significantly release, I guess, I don't know the total price, but it would reduce the price of the trash pickup.
So this is presuming that we were to completely privatize, but I think.
No, I'm not suggesting privatizing at all, absolutely not.
Oh, I thought,
No,
okay.
no, I'm just giving you those figures because that's what they charge the resident, each resident in Raymond who wants to use Casella's services.
Oh, I see. What you're saying is that it's lesser. to not recycle.
I think what he's suggesting
Yeah.
is to the town to stop recycling, and if
Right.
individual residents want to contract with Casella to pick up their recycling, it would be like $100 a year.
Yes, that, according to those figures. Now, what Casella will give the town of Brentwood figures, I have no idea. And I don't know what they charge. I don't know if you know, what do they charge each household now? If you split it up, how many
We
households?
have about
are they-
1,900 homes, so let's just do the 158 to 88, by 1,900. It's $83.31.
So close to 100.
Yeah, close to $100.
Yeah. Yeah, but it'd be
Plus the tipping
optional,
fee.
like I said, I don't know how the
Yeah, true.
townspeople would look at that. And if I understand automated, are they supplying those containers? Or do
They
you have to
are.
buy them?
No, they're supplying them.
But you have to, if you want an extra container, you have to buy it.
Then-
You would
then-
have to
then
pay
there's a
the-
cost. You
You'd
remember?
have to pay the additional tipping fee.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, no, there was a cost for the extra container that you'd have to rent.
the tipping.
Yeah, it was the tipping fee, so it was what it was costing. The container would be provided, they would just pay the extra cost for the disposal of the container,
an
of the
extra-
trash
Of
in
an
the
extra
container.
container?
Yes.
Yes.
No, there was a rental cost.
Yes, that was part of the fee, but the fee was basically the amount it cost to get rid of the trash at
Just another way of,
turnkey.
another way of,
Okay, but it was like $200 a year. if I
Yep.
remember
Sure, so if you
correctly.
make more
Yeah.
trash, it costs the town more to get rid of it, and so that would
They
cover
pay
that.
that fee.
Yeah.
with the
Yeah,
trash
But
can.
they had quoted us an amount, and I want to say it was in or around $200.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's all I was suggesting, possibly to, I would prefer it stay the way it is, because I don't want to be carrying those containers up, and I don't think those containers are ever going to carry, the amount of trash that people have normally been putting out, at least in my neighborhood. But I just think possibly the town can certainly save money by stopping the town paying for recycling and let each individual household decide if they want to pay for recycling. And I mean, I just look at it, I think $100 is a bad price to pick up recycling every week. Now, whether the Casella will offer that, I have no idea. But they do offer that to the town of Raymond.
I mean, it's not the way the present contract is structured, but it's certainly something that, we can have discussion about if, we try to have further discussion with Casella.
Well,
So, for purposes of tonight, we're just dealing with the budget in terms of how much we need to appropriate, but it's, certainly, worthy discussion.
I mean,
food for thought.
we could make it a warrant article to see if people still want to have town-funded recycling services.
Well, you could do option A is this, option B is this, and option C is this.
Yeah, it can be confusing, but I mean, I'm just surprised that Casella up there has these different prices. And they call it more than 65 gallons is a more, $50 more, I think, on those figures. Because my brother and sister lived there. When they had the price change, they said, we're not paying for recycling. My daughters bought a camp, and being the younger generation, they're more than happy to pay for recycling. But, so that's where the figures come from. And Casella was a little,
But they were offering us, I think also, if I'm remembering correctly, the same amount, whether we chose a 65-gallon or a 95-gallon.
yeah.
The contract is the same. The problem is the tipping fees. So the more trash you put out, the more it costs us to get rid of.
Mhm.
Understood, but
So that's why they charge in Raymond more money for the 65, because that includes
Less
the
money,
cost of getting
more money.
rid of it.
right, but
More
they
money
weren't-
for the
They
90.
weren't going to charge us any more, I thought, for a 95-gallon container.
Not for the initial,
Not for the container.
But when
not
they
for the container.
dump it in Rochester,
In the
is-
dumping fee, I know,
Yes.
it'll be more. I
Right.
get that.
that's why this costs more for the 65, because
Right,
in the end, they have to pay to get rid of it.
right. But I think what the gentleman was suggesting is that 65 might fall short. I don't,
I'm
were you
sorry?
I thought maybe you were suggesting that 65-gallon might fall short
Well,
for some people.
I think it would fall short. At least look in my neighborhood, it falls short for just about everybody there. Yeah, and like I said, and Raymond, and they don't count it as you go out there. They don't look at, they don't use containers, so I don't know how they know if you have 65, but I know from the experience of my relatives up there, you can put out as many bags as you want, and they pick it up. They don't argue.
And we
say
pay
that's
for it,
too much.
the tipping fee.
I
We
think we
definitely
have up to, the contract for us, if I remember correctly, is 8 bags, is what you're allowed up to, 8 bags.
Well,
How many? I'm sorry?
whether it,
8 bags is.
Oh, I thought it was
I'd have to
6.
look
Is that
at-
how they do the calculation? Up to 8
I'd have to look at the contract, Bob, but, you know, the reality is I don't think they enforce that.
Yeah, I think, well,
Anyway,
because
so I
I
guess-
might put out 1 and somebody might put out 10.
Mike, I thought when you said you were gonna talk trash tonight, totally different.
You were expecting something a lot worse?
I'm teasing.
So anyway, I guess the big surprise to me was how much they're charging households up there to recycle, and that recycling is optional. And maybe that's something the town should look at. I don't know if they'll, Casella will,
Yeah.
they will feel about it.
We obviously have discussion that we still have to have on this issue.
Mhm.
To raise its head again.
Yep.
But
Thank you,
I
Mike.
appreciate
All right,
it. Thank
thank
you.
thank you.
Thank you.
I think for now, we're.
You ready to look
we're-
at the numbers?
We're really, yeah,
Okay.
need the numbers, so.
Okay, so what I did is I took the budget that you proposed for manual, that's the high, and I did that I divided by 12 times 6 to come up with my number, so for 6 months and 6 months. And then I took the number that you gave me for the automated. So when we look at the 6 and 6, the number for recycling is gonna be 142, oh, I'm sorry, 150,203. Which is.
That's half and half, that's the
It's
half.
half and half,
Yep.
that's the 60/60, or 6 months, 6 months. So it's a difference of $8,085.
Mhm.
So I would make a motion for the recycling to be the 150,203.
So just to the point that he was just making, do we not want to consider making recycling a warrant article to see if people still want to have the town pay for recycling?
I don't know if we can do that with the contract.
I don't think we can.
We actually can. So one of the ways that we can terminate the contract is if we don't.
It doesn't pass
If
it.
it doesn't pass.
It's
Right.
town.
That's true.
So,
I would still like to budget for it.
When you say, yeah, but that's only one component.
yeah, recycling. I think if the voters don't want to pay for recycling, then we shouldn't pay for recycling. Sorry, I think if the voters do not want to have recycling be a town-funded service, then we should give them that choice.
Yeah, it does say in the termination provision at section D, it's at page 9 of the contract, that the agreement may be terminated automatically at the end of the period of the town's approved appropriation in the event adequate appropriations are not approved by the town through the appropriate process to fund this agreement. Any such termination shall be without any additional cost to or penalty paid by the town. I'm still trying to process that because I've read that a number of times, and I don't know if that pertains to the contract as a whole in terms of termination, or can you rescind out, just the
Can you parcel out
the
just recycling? Yeah.
out, as part of that?
I don't
So
think you can.
There are some thorny issues in that termination provision, which I would probably want to not just rely upon my own legal opinion and would want to seek
And-
counsel.
Yeah, and just from my review of contracts and understanding of contracts and policies and stuff like that, to me, that's problematic because I'm trying to pick and choose what I want out of a contract. And I think unless you say we're
I'm not
voiding the
saying we
entire
pick and
contract and start
That's
it over
fine, we
again.
can void the entire contract.
Well,
Problem is we would be responsible for all the changes financially, according to what Paul just read. So
Sorry, what, it said that we would not be responsible for,
I thought you said we town would be responsible. I thought at the end.
well, no, it says, it again, in the event adequate appropriations are not approved by the town through the appropriate process, any such termination shall be without any
Without,
additional
okay.
cost to
Okay.
or penalty paid by the town.
Okay.
But, again, it's a question of interpretation. Can
Yeah.
we just parcel out, recycling, or is this really just a termination of the entire contract?
Yeah,
Uh,
and
that
then what
s-
happens?
So-
Sounds to
Then
me
we
like
have
it's the
3
entire
months
contract.
Then we have 3 months to figure out if we're doing trash or not. I mean,
Yeah.
we have heard repeatedly loudly that the select board maybe didn't do a great job with this contract, that maybe there were better options out there.
The previous select board.
The select board at the time who made the decision.
Mhm.
So
We're moving forward.
Well,
I'm trying to move forward.
I know.
he was talking to me.
Talking to Jim.
Oh, okay. I'm just saying, if it only would mean that they don't do recycling anymore and the trash stuff is still in effect, great. If not, then we
Well,
maybe
I'll-
have a new contract with them just for trash or
Correct.
not,
Correct.
or not. And that would,
I think
Mhm.
these require probably some additional discussion with, I can't remember his name, but the guy who came to us and spoke from Casella, and it may even require, someone who is higher up on the food chain than him. But I've read that termination provision a number of times because of concern over this contract. It just leaves me concerned in terms of, how that might be interpreted.
I mean, I assume it's there specifically so that for towns that have warrant article for trash, if it doesn't pass, it doesn't lock us into something that we can't afford, so.
True. I agree that
Sounds,
if the townspeople didn't want trash, under this contract, and didn't want to appropriate for it.
I'm not a lawyer, but it sure sounds to me cut and dry that if we don't fund it, the contract is null and void. And we start over again. And to me, I like that idea.
But what happens in the meantime when you don't
We
have the
work
contract?
on getting another contract.
We need to provide trash pickup.
We don't need to.
Yeah,
So.
yeah,
so-
we do.
So again, trash is different from recycling. And by the time this goes to town meeting, we would have so much more clarity about what it would mean if the warrant article to fund recycling does not pass, which would mean we could already be in talks with Casella. If this whole thing gets voided, then we could already have a plan in place.
We could be in talks with a number of people.
Sure, it's not like this all happens and then surprise, we didn't know it was gonna happen. Like,
So I think this is worth, discussion. I just don't think it's worth going down the complete rabbit hole on this tonight. We have, the budget, before us in terms of, agreement. And I think, these are legitimate issues and we ought to be, thinking about those for, the upcoming meetings as we're preparing, warrants.
So I'll restate my motion for
Right.
the
Forgot where we were.
the 150,203 for recycling.
Yep.
Which is a savings or a reduction of $8,085 off of the
Mhm.
worksheet.
Mhm.
And that's 6 months, 6 months. So that's going automated. And just so you know, I did the one for the waste disposal also, so we'll get into that next, but I don't want to jump ahead.
I'll second the motion.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'm a nay.
Then we're gonna get into waste disposal, and I did 6 months, 6 months also, same thing. That comes up to a total of 381,084.38. I would make it 085, just to make life easy.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, 381,805?
381,085.
085, okay.
And that would be my motion for that. Again, that's 6 months and 6 months.
Second.
Letty, did you want to explain your nay? Is that why you sounded like you wanted to say something?
No, I just wanted to know what the revenue from recycling was so far this year. Because that's not recorded in here
I don't
anywhere.
have that number here,
Okay.
but I can get it for the next meeting.
Thank you.
So it was $100,000 different?
No, it's
No, no,
16,
it's a total
16,
16,865.62 or 61.
866.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I
Aye.
just,
You said 381, right?
381,084.
And we're
or
asking
85,
for
I'm sorry.
397.
Yes, so you're
So
saving
Oh, yeah,
16,000.
okay.
And then the total between the two is gonna be 531,287.38,
Repeat that,
or actually 288.
repeat that number, Bob.
531,288,
Which is the difference of,
$24,950. And if I was doing a warrant article, I'd say I want $24,950 if you want to go ahead and do 6 months worth of automatic or manual.
Yep.
So
I'll-
the delta is basically $25,000. And if you're going to do a full year, since that's only 6 months to do the manual, you're really going to be doing a warrant article for 50 grand.
50, right.
So it's going to cost $50,000 if we want to do manual versus automated.
But that's
Letty-
not what the warrant article would say.
We would have to word that later. We have until February to work that out. Today, we're just worrying about the budgets.
Betty,
Second,
what was your vote on the
On
think it was
which,
waste disposal,
meaning collection?
the rubbish collection?
That's
yeah.
the,
That's a yay, yes.
okay.
yeah.
So
And-
you were a yay or an aye on that?
Yes.
Okay.
So nay on recycling, yay on the second one.
Yes.
And now we're going to the 0143, the tipping fees. And that is 173,844. We have a contract on that.
We
That's
do
Nope.
not.
right.
That's what my question was gonna be. What was this number based on?
I just did 5%, because I don't know.
There's a
the-
4% increase with the Southeast Refuge that we've negotiated with Rochester that allows us, it's a 4% increase. I
Year over
know.
year?
Yeah, we have a contract up to 10 years. We got until 2035. We have a 5-year contract with an extension of an additional 5 years if we need it. I know that because I'm part of that board.
So does this include that?
It's, well, if you did
Increase?
5%, it should
So
be
we need-
4%.
Right.
No, hold on. Because that's under disposal dues, right?
Disposal dues is the correct number. I got that number today from, that's our.
That's what Bob's talking about?
That's our dues. is
that's our dues to
4,500.
Southeast Land.
That's what Bob's talking about.
No, Southeast Land,
Not Southeast
they're,
Land Trust.
they're the ones that negotiate with Waste Management this dumping fees that we pay.
The dues for that.
The
No, I don't think-
4,500 is dues to, so,
The,
SRRDD.
yes.
Yeah.
Why
Southeast
did that
Regional
number
Rec-
go down?
I have no idea. That's the number she quoted me
Okay.
today.
That was surprising. And then as far as the tipping fees go, my question was basically how many tons of trash are we expecting to get rid of next year?
I would guess
many?
it's gonna be similar to this year.
Yeah, you hope it's year after year, you're hoping you stay similar, but I know as we add more houses, you get more trash, so.
Yep. And then the other question I had, and I'm guessing it's the same one, is the landfill fees line looks underspent at this point in the year. But I
Well-
know that you have another thing that might have a different number on it, so if you could just look up the number for 12.8.
Yeah, I have 106,964.
Okay, so that is low.
Oh, no, sorry.
No,
I'm looking at the wrong
that's, yeah.
I have 150,
Ooh,
153,827.
So I think that this number needs to be higher, since we haven't even hit Christmas yet.
yeah, we don't have December's bill and you're already at that, so right now you got 11 months in, 153.
Do they bill monthly for the tipping fees or?
That should work.
I want to say it's almost weekly or bi-weekly.
No, I think it's monthly.
No idea. I know that they go weekly
So
to throw our
if I
trash away,
take,
so-
if I take the 153,827, I divide it by 11, because I'm assuming it's only been billed at 11, and I times it times 12, it should come out to 167,811. And
166,170 in the budget, right?
you're looking for
That's
169,344.
Did you do 4% on top of that?
Oh, I didn't do the 4%, I'm sorry. Plus 4% would be 174,523.
I guess just especially because that, again, that's a good estimator if you assume trash is level
same,
throughout the
yeah.
year. but we're approaching the time of year when there's so much more trash.
So, I mean, you could do
But some of your bills are gonna come in
lower.
January.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
How does
and be
that work?
paid out of the 26 budget.
How does that work, actually?
Well, if it comes in before the 15th, we can apply it to 2025, but if it's after that, we can't.
I guess if it's a cost incurred in
I mean,
25.
as long as it's still gonna be 12-month cycle, you know what I mean? Because the same thing's most likely gonna happen the following year.
Right, so it's a 169,344. I mean,
Mhm.
do we want to just increase it slightly? Is that the idea?
Yeah, I would increase that to 175.
Yeah.
And then, but you have to add the two together, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the
For the
4,500,
dues, so
179,500.
179.5. I'll make a motion to move that to 179.5.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
And just for everyone in the audience, so if they're looking for the true number, because I know somebody will, because I would.
Oh, the total of all
Total
trash?
of everything that we just approved, 531. 710, 788. Originally, the worksheet, we had 730,082.
Thank you for your calculations.
So that's a difference of $19,294 that we shaved off.
Well, but we moved it to a warrant article.
Right. Well, we were gonna have to do a warrant anyway, so that worked.
Right.
Cool.
Old business, I understand the land use tax issue is one that we're gonna have to push off to the next meeting.
Yeah, unless you want to discuss that email that I sent around from Joe.
Let's just discuss on it until we have better information.
Table it.
Okay. I just don't know what to tell. I believe Adrian's coming in next week with the warrant for you to sign for the land use change.
Well, then we can have the discussion before the meeting, or we can have the discussion with her, and then we can vote on it and then move forward that way.
Why'd you get it out there? You know,
Did I make copies of it? I don't know if I sent it out. I don't know.
I had a
I
question.
do have part of it here. I can make copies if everybody wants to see it. This is the part that was in red. That kind
I
of looked
still
like,
have the email.
So there was an email that it looks like it was written by,
the property owner.
the property owner, but, there's some,
The developer.
the developer, but there's some question in terms of how this ended up on this email and whether or not it's corresponding to the time when the email was issued or maybe, some other time. So it just raises some questions, and again, in terms of the amount that we had originally
copy?
approved. I'm not quite sure how to resolve that at this point, frankly. Is there any way we can get Jim Michaud, the appraiser, in to talk about this? Wouldn't he know if this
He
agreement
retired,
had been
didn't he?
made?
He did not retire. He just doesn't work for us
Doesn't work
anymore.
for us, okay.
I don't know how to get a hold of him, just.
Yeah, not,
There's
He's-
no like group
he's-
chat for all the Jimmy shows in
He's,
the area.
He was Hudson's assessor, so if he's still doing the job, he would be full-time in the town of Hudson.
I mean,
I can reach out to him. I remember Jim from when I was here before, and
it seems to me we need to ask him what his memory of the agreement was. Do you have a thought?
Yeah, so my thought was, and I guess, so it's this bold thing, which on my thing is red.
Yeah.
Says phase 2 and 3 will have the same terms for a unit release in the amount of $5,000. And at some future date, if there are substantial market value changes, the release figure may have to be revisited. I think we are experiencing substantial market value changes, which means that $5,000 number no longer automatically applies.
We just went through a reassessment and all the numbers did change drastically, so.
Yeah,
there's-
so I see that this is an email from the developer to the previous assessor. But
There's some question in terms of how that red font, and
regardless of how it got there, it sounds like even with this, it acknowledges that if there's substantial market value changes, that number may not apply anymore.
And there has been significant.
And so that's where, because I believe the new assessment is higher than 50.
Which is why he's pushing back that he wants it for that rate, so.
He's still the assessor.
Yes.
I guess my thought is I'd like to, get a better understand, and maybe we just invite the developer in as well, but I think we have to have some conversation with the previous assessor, Jim Michaud, not our Jim Michaud, but, so we can get, at least to the bottom of what the intent of this agreement was, because right now, I mean, and I certainly see what you're saying, Letty, that, it does suggest that the release figure may have to be revisited, but I'd still like to hone down on what the intent of the agreement was between these two gentlemen.
Good.
And I guess it wouldn't be a bad idea to have a better understanding of what contractors like this can commit to for the town without board approval.
Well,
Moving forward,
yeah.
as always.
Okay, agreed to table that.
So,
Yeah, I'll reach out to him.
okay, perfect.
Bond payment schedule.
But we're not gonna sign anything, she should know until we have it,
Sure.
resolved. So, all right, we have bond payment schedules for municipal building project. I really think that was for informational purposes only. in
Yeah,
terms
I
of-
know it came up at the last meeting for a question about how much the bond payments would be and when they would begin.
Mhm.
So I had Ambrose reach out to the municipal bond bank, and these are obviously estimates. They have no idea what the rates are gonna be at the August sale in 2026.
Mhm.
So anything we can do with that, other than I understand that, this will be brought forward at a future meeting as to, what the select board wishes to do.
I can tell you my preference is, I think we have a new chief. I would like for him to take a look at all of this. I'd like to probably do a warrant article to put some money into the capital reserve. My understanding is probably around 130,000, 170,000 in there right now.
Hmm.
I'd like to put 100,000 or so into that account, and that's what my warrant article recommendation would be. And I'd like to have somebody take a look at the finance, because I kind of freaked out when I saw that there was a 30-year bond that was proposed also. And to me, if you're gonna borrow 5 million but pay back 9 million, that just kills me.
Oh, yeah, so my understanding is that this board would have to decide which of these,
Yeah,
so we don't have to.
I just think
Pick
with the
the-
huge tax increase right now, I don't know if that's gonna be palatable to go and ask people for $5.7 million. And I also think the number, and I mentioned this before, the square footage that they're quoting, I can do a hotel for that. And we don't need the finished materials that I need in a hotel.
So
And that's what they're quoting.
are we gonna, when we start talking about warrants, I assume
Mhm.
this is gonna be sort of front and center?
Make
at
sure
a-
you're
at a-
talking
at a
in
future, yeah, I'm sorry.
microphone.
This is gonna be front and center at a future, meeting when we're
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
about, okay,
But I'm just putting that out there. I think,
all right.
I think it's, just so everyone knows where my thought is I think I would like for the chief to have some time to take a look at it and make sure that everything that we're looking for is accurate. I think I would like for him to meet with the building committee.
So he has.
Yeah.
He's been at the last few and he has looked it over and he actually stayed beyond that to ask all his questions and have them all answered. And he felt like this was a good proposal that would meet the needs of the town.
For the size of the building and everything else, then I think we need to also engage, like either.
There's a lot of.
There's a lot of finance stuff that still needs to be ironed out. And I think getting the number that I saw before, and I voiced it probably immediately, as soon as I looked at it and said, that's this much per square footage and that's way too high.
Based on,
Based on my 30 years of writing estimates and measurements.
right, so the firm that we've been working with is building other buildings right now, and I don't know if did you send, they literally just built another building, and that is how much it costs to build a municipal building right now.
Yeah, but we also had the Rock Center that also was going to cost $54 million and ended up costing $84 million. You also had the Stratham Fire Department that came in, and they had to come back again for another warrant article for an extra $1.3 million because they overspent on that. There's a management process of it, and there's a bidding process and everything else, and I really think you need to have
Sure, that
a
hasn't
group of
happened
people that
yet.
understand numbers, and I think to come forward with a $5.7 million swag is wrong.
And so I hear both of you, and I think, and again, I'm gonna kick the can because, you said you needed to get to Boston by.
I'm leaving here
by
at 8 o'clock.
So, I
Okay.
think this is an important subject. I think next month, we need to devote a good portion of a meeting to it and have, the chief with us and probably the person who, is the engineer consultant who was involved as
Doug.
well.
Mhm.
So, Julie will set that up for, sometime next month. Budgeting software, Julie, go ahead.
Yeah, the new software that we're getting does not include the budgeting portion, which means I won't be able to compare those next reports now. So in order to get that, the cost is $2,500 for license, and then or he should
Can you find the money this year?
this year.
The 2,500?
We can take it out of the capital reserve, can't we?
Or is it, we don't do impact fees, right? Can't do it out of impact fees, no?
No. I don't think it.
It's new.
We have not used any capital reserve money this year,
Because of growth, though.
so we've got it in the capital reserve.
Spend the $2,500
Yeah.
Well, it's 25 plus the 900.
But so
next year.
Okay.
do we have to reopen one of the budgets to add that $900 in somewhere?
Or do you,
That can come out of
or do you
the
prepay
revolving
that?
account for a software.
What? We should budget for it if it's an annual fee for next year.
I just don't see the sense of opening a budget for $900 and then sending it back to the budget committee, and then I'm opening a budget for $900.
That's why I'm wondering if you
But
could
we
prepay
just opened
it
a whole bunch of
now.
them for like $5.
If we can prepay it now, I would just say, why don't we go
Right.
ahead and just do
Yes, I agree.
$3,400? Go for it.
Yeah,
We're done.
That's what I was thinking.
So
Yeah.
I'd make a motion for $3,400.
Yeah.
Appropriate some money.
Second.
Yeah.
Just out of the general fund?
Don't care.
No, it's got to come out of a line item.
Well,
Julie, will you figure out, which line item and
as
just-
opposed to the capital reserve was what I was trying to
Yes.
clarify.
All right, Julie will find out a line item, because I'm sure it exists, to, pay for the $3,400. So, motion, is there a second?
I already did.
Second, okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
KRT.
Yeah, there's an invoice that came to us for $30,000, which is the first invoice for
The
their-
first of two.
the first of two for their post data, post reevaluation data collection. So my understanding is they have not yet come out because they've had, what,
I've reached out to him, yeah, he said they've had a lot of sickness and people trying to use it for vacation
Holiday,
before the end
yeah.
of the year. So they but haven't actually started the process yet.
The contract also calls for, you know, KRT meeting with us with respect to, you know, their guidelines and their processes and how they were going to do this. So I think that, you know, meeting ought to take place so we have a better, you know, idea of, you know, how this is gonna, you know, happen.
The contract that we had, what was already paid to them and what was agreed to financially?
Well, what's left is this 30,000, and then when they're finished,
So we had budgeted for the 60,000 that they're asking us for. Okay. But unfortunately, we'd probably have to encumber it into next year if we haven't spent it yet, right?
No, it's in the
It's in a-
capital reserve,
right?
The capital reserve, okay.
right? Don't we have a capital reserve
Mhm.
for
Yes.
revaluation?
Let's say in the contract at 9.1, before starting the data collection, KRT shall meet with the town to review the project steps, data collection guidelines. So, you know, I think you know, there needs to be some communication here. I would suggest just pausing on that invoice until we, or at least, you know, Julie has, you know, that meeting with, you know, KRT, so we can.
It has a comfort level for what they're asking.
Mhm.
Yeah, that works. I'm fine with that.
So do you want him to come in and meet with the board to review steps, or do you want him to just sit down with me and review steps
would-
and guidelines?
I would personally take it a little further and say that once they've visited half the properties, then we can release money
It's not in the contract.
for us to not.
No, it had the payment in December, actually, for the third, and the contract, it
Yeah, the
says payment in
contract.
December.
Oh, I didn't realize that
Yeah.
there were.
Yeah, time
There's a
frames.
payment schedules.
And then the other one, I think, in June 20.
So because we're meeting next Tuesday, which is what date?
The
30th?
30th, yeah. He can't come until after the new year.
Yeah, I think pushing it at least until he meets with us then feels fair.
I don't know if we can, if you have to make a payment schedule in December.
Oh, but they're not meeting their
Yeah.
part of the bargain either, so.
Right. I feel like at least, Bob, under 9.1, that there's an obligation to go through that,
Okay.
you know, with us. And I'd feel more comfortable doing that before releasing 30.
But I would definitely say you need to memorialize, you give them a call, and then you have to memorialize it in writing to say, we cannot release this until you come in and meet with us, as according to
Yeah, put it
whatever.
in writing, definitely.
Because you
So-
want to I don't want them hitting us
can-
with a fine or a late fee or something stupid.
I
in
can
the
have him
contract.
come in on the 6th. That's the first meeting of the new year.
But at least if we have it in writing that and they're okay with postponing it until January, then we're covering our,
Yeah, I would just send them an
Yeah.
email saying we're putting a pause, you know, on
Right.
this
We un-
invoice
yeah.
until.
We understand you have some scheduling issues. We're meeting on Tuesday. If he wants to come on Tuesday, awesome. If he doesn't want to come on Tuesday, it's going to happen on the
Yeah,
6th.
I'd like a better understanding of what
Yeah.
the
Sure.
project
Yeah, and I
steps
think-
and
and-
data collection guidelines are, which are specified in the.
and Julie, I think it's
Contract.
important in that email, that letter, that they approve of that they're
Sure. They
accepting
acknowledge,
it,
yeah.
acknowledging it.
That's what we're
Yeah.
saying, yeah.
All right,
Put a read receipt on it.
45
Send them an
minutes.
email.
45 minutes of what?
I mean, 25.
Ah.
20.
Yeah.
Well, then
I
let's
have to
go
get to Logan, so.
Committee updates then. Go ahead, start.
Police, we hired a new patrol officer
Yeah.
today.
Really?
Yeah,
Thanks.
yeah, you're welcome.
I was there.
Next, Andy, how you doing?
Highway, we're working on, building out the shed.
Yeah.
Yep, okay, that's all I got.
Andy,
From the rec committee last week, the new furnace is installed at the rec center. The air conditioning portion hasn't been done yet. The board voted to give Jason a $500 stipend because he was pretty much running the department.
Like a spot bonus or something?
Yeah. So there was a question on whether it was going to come out of the revolving account or from the budget. They really wanted it to come out of the budget, but I said that would be a Board of Selectmen's.
Yeah, I mean, there's money in there because
Right. So I would make a motion to approve that out of their budget.
I'll second that.
all in
I
favor?
beat you.
AJ?
Aye.
Jason's still working with UNH to get interns for next year, and he thinks that's may happen. The committee's working on new bylaws, and they're also questioning field rental rates, whether they have the power to set rental rates or if we have to be involved in that somehow. And
We've never done.
I don't remember addressing that.
Would
So
that be
I
the
would say,
permit fee- I know we just did permit fees. Is that kind of a similar thought as to why we
I don't
might-
know, they've always handled that out
I
of
think
the
they've always
revolving.
handled that.
I'd be okay with them handling it. That's right up their alley. I mean,
Yeah, they do the.
So next meeting, you can take
I'll
that back
take
to
that,
them.
yeah.
does the heat work?
I guess so.
Okay, good.
If it didn't, we'd have some frozen pipes.
And that's all I have from rec.
Awesome. I have nothing because he did my rec, so.
Last planning board meeting, we continued discussion of approving various ordinances that are going up for public hearing. And part of that too was also the getting us off of the signing of the permits so that that would be delegated out to the building inspector. But then, of course, there was the ordinances that we've been talking about with regard to ADUs and multifamily and workforce. So those will be set for public hearing. Letty.
Yeah, so budget committee met last night. They approved all of the budgets that we have approved so far. Just really quickly, Julie, I have that we are still missing 4 budgets, assessing, IT. Oh, he wants you to turn your microphone so that they can
I don't
hear
think
you.
you'll hear me shake my head.
So I have that we are still needing to approve assessing, information systems, government buildings, and then I don't have joint loss written as approved, but that doesn't mean that we didn't approve it somewhere in
think
there
we
because
did.
it's a tiny
I
one.
thought we did that one.
Yeah.
I think we did.
I can go back and look. We talked briefly, more than briefly, about the 434, which is the estimate and then revised revenue number that we would probably look to use to figure out what the tax cap number would be. There's definitely interest in having a better understanding of how that is generated and how where those numbers come from. I also, and I want to be clear, this is just my estimate based on what the select board has approved so far and what typically we would ask for warrant articles and other warrant articles that I've heard that be mentioned, where we are in terms of whether or not we're going to hit the cap. We're fine, is the long and short of it.
Yeah. In fact, I did some analysis with Jim Hajar on that, and I think, again, I said this last meeting, I'll say it again. I think the residents are going to be, pleased that we're looking at an amount for our budget that's going to be close, very close to level funded.
Sorry, you're talking about the operating budget?
Yeah, and including budget and warrants as well.
The anticipation is that that's what we're gonna come in at.
No. Sorry, I just want to make sure that that's different from what I just said, so I want to make sure that we're on the same page.
I don't know if we're on the same page, but I mean, I think I'm saying is that we're in a scenario where the operating budget and the warrants and everything that we're going to be presenting is going to be close to level funded.
Okay. So,
Okay, you're both speaking hypothetically right now, so
yes.
we don't need to keep this going.
So the only reason I want to make sure that I understand, because I have that the operating budget's going to be $345,000 less than last year. So I'm trying to figure out how, if we add warrant articles to that, we get to level fund. That's the part that I'm trying to understand. If
But that's an unknown right now.
Because we won't have those until February 1st, I think is the deadline for submitting those.
You're speaking hypothetically, so I don't think that that's fair to.
we are both speaking hypothetically,
That's what I just said.
but we are talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars in difference, and I want to understand where that's coming in. That's all.
Okay. It's not gonna happen
Hopefully, if we're
tonight.
coming in at
Yeah.
$345,000 under, hopefully the warrant articles aren't more than $345,000, and then we're level funded.
Yeah.
But
and
they are, and that's why I'm confused.
Okay.
That's why I'm confused.
All right.
All right.
And obviously, you know, that there are some assumptions built in that we're basically going to fund, you know, warrants that are similar to what we funded last year in terms of adding to capital reserves and other funds. So, you know, but I agree. I don't want to go down the rabbit hole of having a, you know, an analysis of all of that at this point. So, public comment. Anyone?
Oh, I was all excited, Doug, man. I thought I was gonna get out of here before 8 o'clock.
I know.
He had to test the new podium.
Doug Finnan, speaking as a private citizen tonight. Just want to, first of all, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to everybody. Over the holidays, had an opportunity to speak to a number of residents in the town and neighbors, and heard a lot of different things. And a lot of them wanted me to extend a thank you to the select board, department heads, and the budget committee. Very difficult time. Everybody understands that. They're trying, they don't understand all the intricacies in all the budgets. And I encouraged them, if they had any questions, to approach anybody on the board or anybody on any of these committees. But they insisted, and I'm talking probably just 14, 15 people. In particular, the select board, very challenging, good job. Department heads, outstanding. You've made a lot of difficult choices. And BudCom, you still awake? Great job with your team. And that's about it, but I just wanted to end on a little positive note for you guys and department heads and budget committee. Thank you very much and have a nice holiday.
Thank you, Doug.
Really
Christmas,
appreciate
happy
it.
holidays.
Merry Christmas. Yep.
We should say something about the new podium. We really should.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Beautiful.
it is a beautiful new podium that Bruce Stevens brought in earlier. It's been 2 years in the making, and I know there are going to be some discussions about perhaps a plaque that could, you know, in memoriam to
Hmm.
our departed moderator of many years, and that, you know, I know
Absolutely.
there'll be some discussion about that.
Yep.
So,
And the wood was donated by Highland Hardwoods.
yes,
Uh,
thank you.
Yep.
Yep.
And beautiful job.
I know we have a short stint for non-public tonight. So again, thank you, everyone. Merry Christmas, happy holidays.
Merry Christmas, happy holidays.
Yep.
Thank you.
Take a motion to go into non-public
Motion.
For what?
for personnel. Yep.
Second. Aye.
Aye.
Aye. You got that, right? Saw that?
Yes, thank you. I haven't opened it, but thank you. Yes. Oh, it's a you now? Yes.
So wherever you want.
So